Howdy, I missed that Autodesk Fusion, whatever hour that was with Jason. We used to do these a lot before, especially during COVID. Well, I met my great friend Steve Hadwin in Oklahoma, and we finally got to meet at the H-Tech National Conference at Fort Smith, Arkansas. Really great to see him in person. We had a nice dinner, nice time together, and I hope to see him again soon. I'm planning on attending the H-Tech in Alabama because that's not too far from me in Florida. I should be able to drive to that one. I'm going to probably take my camper, but I'll probably still hang around the H-Tech hotel. Anyway, I am helping teach another teacher now, so I actually had to update his account. So I actually had to make the account and then rename the account STC Kyle, because when a student becomes a user, they store all their files in their Fusion Cloud area. And as a teacher, you want to have access to the files, so you won't have access. You want them to be a member of your team or where you store your files. And so I had to learn how to do that in the beginning. We kind of learned how to manage the file system because it's really meant for, I think it was meant to be like engineering sharing. So we made these file folders and we pinned them to the top. So if he ends up with other projects, these will be on top. And I actually learned to rename them all to school with the year. And it's high school year 1, high school year 2. So we got AM and PM high school. They're there for 3 hours a day. And the machinists are full-time young college level, which are there 6 hours a day. And teacher, I had him make his own file so he can work on his own stuff, and manage it. So in STC year 1, we made these file folders here, all these here. And then right away I could see some issues because looks like somebody downloaded some simulation files. Now I'll get into that later, but if you do machine simulation, this is going to be possibly become an issue, and also where they're storing stuff. So I just put first names. I'll put first names, last initials. And this one says immerse to learn mill data. I might rename this so it's on top. Let me see if I can do that. Rename with a 1 in the front. Go on top. Usually this would, let me do yeah, now it's on top. Okay. So they're alphabetical order and numbers outweigh letters. So, all right, this is immerse to learn data mill 2D class. So in the class, these are download files. Just like when you do an Autodesk class, they're going to have your download files. And we also had a tool library and a list of tools. So we got project P1, P2, P3. So going back, I go back one level. Aiden, I can also go and check what he's done, right? I can go check on Allie, see what she's done, all this stuff. And it looks like some side projects there. She's done a lot of work. So the quickest way, if I go back to home, that brings you back to everything. I want to be back in year 1. And I'm in Carl's team, teacher Carl's team. So he made me a member of his team. So what's the quickest way to get there is this little world button, open in web. So I'm actually logged in with my Autodesk account as teacher ed, my email from my teacher. And here's all the class. I can go back. I could do the same pyramid, like where's everything? Pin, don't let me share with me. I'll go, or this class by itself. Home and this. And this is everything that's in the class. Actually, it says these were created by Carl. This was created by me. That was created by me. And these were created by Carl. So I'm not sure if maybe Carl did that. All right, so if I go to the Aiden class, this is probably where I probably didn't manage it as good as I could have. And learning how to shut down people. Because I learned how to give them permissions, but how to shut them off from other permissions. So right now we have them as right there. It says There's 16 members, but we only have this many in this particular class. So I go and type them in and put them in. So in this class, we got admins 5, Carl is a 5, I'm a 4 because I'm a manager. Right. And all the students are 3s. But I saw that Dan had that top-down effect. We should have made all the students like 0s or 1s and then set up each folder, like this one, Aiden's folder by itself, permissions. If I did that, these would all be 0s, and I can give him just permission for his, like Aiden. I give him 3 dots for he can edit. I think what I want to test out is limiting this class so they don't like wreck what's in here. Like if I go in this one, I can see if anybody tried to save something. No, they didn't. So this one is just blueprints, inspection sheets. So we have another class that has models in it. So I'm going to learn how to manage better. I'll probably test it out when I'm in school tomorrow. So if there's any hiccups, I can fix them. So right now I got everybody's got a level 3 permission. At least. Individually, it would be I want to test out the viewer or the no role. And then the top-down effect, I like the Dan Benak, which I've never met. I never got to see him. I talked to him a lot on the forum back in the day when it was just an educator forum. But it was really good. And this one's actually looks like 2 accounts. I can't figure that out. So I can go in and also see what they're doing. So if I go into I made one Victor account, but I don't know which one is his access. If I click on this one, it says that's his school account, and what's this one? This was a Gmail account, so I could probably ask him, like, which one are you using? Doesn't really matter. I just want them to have access to do all their projects in the SDC Carl account. So I can check it, Carl can check it. So I'll go back to the Real Fusion over here, and I can go check Victor. Victor is nothing in there, right? I go to Katie. Katie's got a bunch of projects but hasn't been doing her new ones, so I have to go and check to see where you're storing your projects. So you gotta learn to transfer them by USB and import them into this here so I can see them. Mr. Finnegan been doing really well. He's been doing all his projects. We tightened the CNCs and we're transitioning to these Immerse to Learn project 1, 2, 3. This was drawing a model and doing machining. So I can look at project 2, and I can look at it now to look at his design, right? Did he design it correctly? It looks pretty good. I can do some quick inspections by measuring. This one. 3 inches, okay, I think that looks good. So you can get some data without having to go into the design phase. Like I could turn sketches on and off. There's only one body. All right. And then I can review. I could look at his manufacturing. I see all these NC programs, so I'm going to tell him what that's all about, right? And then set up one. Click on the button, and I also teach him to use active setup, the 2 clocks there. Stock visibility on. And I'm going to say don't show machine, and we're not going to use machine for now. And show tool, tool path, F7, and view. And I show them grid and without grid, and origin and no origin. So. Okay, let's see. I could do a quick simulate, and I use simulate, but I don't use simulate with a machine because that requires you to download a machine model, and that becomes a little bit a headache to manage. It's good for a teacher to show it because you can describe it with the machine, but as far as a student, I just found on this level I don't think it's really needed. I think some of the Haas Autodesk courses have the import a vice. I think that's a pretty good idea, but I didn't want to overwhelm students in the beginning, so I might use it in my demonstration, but I don't require them to import a machine or import a vice. Later on, we can do that. Because I can tell by the simulation if it's going to work or not. And later on, I could teach them how to do that. So I don't want to overwhelm them. So I only use simulate only. Right? Now under simulate, it says right here, no problems found. I'm going to bring this simulate window over. I got dual windows, dual monitors. I'm going with transparent holder so I can see through it. I like using the tail link, which just kind of disappears as it goes along. That's my preference. Colorization. I like comparison and operation. Those are my two biggies. Comparison compares to the model. I want stop on collision on, and I don't use transparent stock. I like it to be solid looking, and my viewpoint is model. And you don't have to worry about this accuracy down here. And opacity, you can play with that, but I leave that all the way up. So that is ready to go. And if you've got only one window, sometimes when using only one laptop that's hooked up to the active board, I'll just hit minus so I got more room here. So right here we got, let me move my body over here. We got blue is positive, green is what we want, and red's negative, you went too far. All right, going to do a simulate. All right, cut, I can slow it down for class. I'm looking at it, I'm critiquing it. All right. Did he do what we... Yep, it looks pretty good. Looks like he followed the plan. Excellent. Green, everything's green. Slotting. Chamfering. And drilling and drilling. All right, done. And it's actually it rolled right into operation 2. Hit pause. I don't know why it does that. All right, right here. Now, if I have active setup, I'm going to hit exit. It'll flip automatically when I press this button right there. So I'm looking at the stock. The stock looks good. It transferred correctly. And if I want to show toolpaths, that would be, sorry, these eyeballs right here. I can show them or not show them. So if I want to look at some detail, and click on this again. I'll roll it back a little bit. And I'll go do simulate, plane simulate. But this time I'm actually going to switch to, where'd my simulation thing go? Oh, here it is right here. I'll switch to operation mode. This will change colors by operation. I'm going to do minus, hit play. All right, we got multiple cuts, very good. That was in the lesson plan. This is simulating very well. Chamfering looks good. And we do some engraving. And I think we did some spot drills to make sure we chamfered the back. And he's got his name on the back. That was all in the lesson. I can now hit exit. So I'll say this is ready to go. And I can mark it off in the LMS that he's done programming, he's done design, CAD, and CAM. And now we need to make the parts. So I can click on this. And I could show them how to make the G-code and a setup sheet. And this one will be G-code time. We have them all download a school post processor. I put the name up there because if I see that, I feel really good. Everything's going to work well. So I used the G1 in the beginning, and later on I showed them how to use NC programs. But this is where the problems arise. I think this is the easiest way to teach it is G1, and right here is your selections. So we got all these groups here. Usually it's opened up, but my post is set up to not use sequence numbers, and I want it to write the machine and tool list, and I have optional stop on, but all the machines I have are what they call umbrella machines, so I don't use the preload. And I also separate words with space, and I use G0s for my rapid fast moves. So my post is already set up to put these all in there so you don't have to really do that. And up here it's got program number and name. So I teach them how to do that and open NC file editor. So, and right up here is operation. So when we get into NC program, we'll get into this a little bit more. Open NC file edit, I'll hit post. All right, it's updating. And then we'll go over the G-code. I can look right away. He's got his tools numbered correctly. He's using our post processor. He's got his name up there. Tool list. I can go over some G-code with them, but I'm looking at this, all these settings, and this all looks pretty good. So I would say this is highly successful. You know, now he has to just get out the machine and set it up. Now, if he's a high school student, we might have one student set the machine up, and we're going to run all these off. If we got a college level student, we want them to repetitively do setups a lot. So whichever way they do it, we usually have a setup sheet that's aligned to this class. But it's got the tool list there. They should be almost set it up with the tool list and where the XYZ is. That's probably the only thing in the material size. So this would be good. So if I go into his class, I can see that he's only got one, right? That's the only one he's got. And it says E right there. That E means I have the project open. If he had it open at the same time, you'd see an F there. We're both in the middle in the project. But when you go to save it, it's really defaults, I think, to the first user. So right here, if I click on his, used in drawing view. Oh, this used to have a timeline before of, I guess it's over here now. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's all him, right? So if I save this, it'll have my name on it, right? So sometimes if I do a lesson or they didn't do it correctly, I would save it with my initials at the end, or it says teacher. So I might fix something, show them how to do it, and I'll leave it in there, and I'll say I don't want you to do it. I want you to fix yours. So sometimes when I did that, I would go into edit notes and just put my initials there. But I had them in the class put this in notes because that was supposed to be where they had their setup sheet information. So that was all in the lesson plan. So actually, just by doing that, I learned he did everything correctly. So, but that was like little tricks of if I modify something, I would save it as, I could do it right now. Do file, save as, and I'll put my initials. Yeah, I'll put teacher so he knows it was me. Teacher Ed, because we have two teachers. Hit save. So now there's two. There's two in the file. And eventually this will update to be me active, and now his is saved, but wherever it was originally. So if I click on this one, and went to the web there. How do I do that? Is this one? How can I get that thing to come up again? Oh, I thought it came up with that other. Nope, that's not what I want. I wanted that other. How did that come up before? Details. This one maybe? Yeah, okay. I learned something. Yeah, my name's on that one and when I created it. So I want to check on this tomorrow because I think my version in my home computer is newer than the lab installed computers. So I want to see if he's able to open that or not, or if I can open it in mine. So that's the only big issue with the Fusion with updating all the time is if the student is doing a single user install at home, he always has the latest version. Right now, this one's waiting for an update. Once I update it, it'll be on a newer version, and it may not align with the version of the school. A lab install, and I also just installed a lab install on this computer. I wanted to test out if I can have both versions running, and if I do lab installs, and then I'm never out of sync with the students, because I'll only update when the students get updated. So the only problem I could possibly have is students doing work at home, and that Fusion may have updated a couple of times and made it's not a death sentence, because sometimes it'll still open with updates, and sometimes there's a major update and it won't. I think there was some way to be notified when a major update came so that the IT department can not update on every time an update comes up, but only update when there's a major one coming down the road. I'm not sure if I used to get emails all the time that Fusion will be updating in 4 to 8 weeks. So I would tell the IT guys, hey, on this date, we need to have this updated. And they would come in and do their thing. I haven't tried that script thing. I'm going to have to look at the script. So when I'm looking at that, I just happen to be in how to update right here. And I found right here, it's set under Windows, auto download script for Windows to make sure your lab is consistent. 8-week update. All right, so I'm going to have to get with my IT guys. Is he using this? But that's, I guess, the problem with, are you in tune with your IT department? I used to update my own, but they'd have to give me access. So they'd open up all the access. I have all the laptops on and the desktop computers on, and I would manually go around and update. But they can update a lot faster with their methods, because it's really how they do SolidWorks and all the other files. Of course, with SolidWorks, it's once a year, and they don't update till next year. I think in our Fusion world, I would like to see like beginning of the year update and any major updates, and maybe do a January or Christmas time update to kind of like keep it aligned. But there's a very big one coming out now. I just happened to notice when I was watching a guy named JitCAD that does a lot of, I wouldn't say education stuff because he's an Autodesk sales guy, but he's got a lot of great videos. So up here under preferences, let me go down to some preferences right here under general. I had show home tab as setup. I did not have that on because the newer versions would have a different view when it opened up. And I learned to turn that on. And I learned about these other settings, start in design, model orientation, Z up, and which mouse do you use. I prefer the SolidWorks mouse, but by default it's the Fusion mouse. So if I go to their computers, they might have it set up as a Fusion mouse, and I'm fumbling around a little bit. So that's where I like to use my own computer when I'm looking at and reviewing students, or I'm helping students. So I can help a student by, maybe I looked at something on this and said, I think you need to fix this. Let me show you, and I'll put it on the active board. I can have them come up and I can show them what they need to do. And then they can go back to their computer at their desk and fix it. So when I do something like that, I'll do it temporarily, and I'll X out of it and let them reopen it, and they can save it. So I don't want to update and save anything. I might make a copy with my initials. So I think I may have mentioned that before. So I'll make a copy of my initials, and then it's my version, so I can kind of track the history that way. But they know that I've fixed it. So I like to learn how to manage better, that's for sure. And what else do we got here? Oh, let me go down to preferences while I'm here. So under manufacturer, biggie is enable cloud library. That's a biggie right there. And the other one is default units. We're doing all inch, so design in inch and manufacturing it. So get that out of the way in the beginning. Preview features, I kind of look at this, and I just learned this intent-driven design experience is on the next update, which I don't have yet. I kind of saw that by watching somebody else's video, because now if you're big on CAD and engineering, you're going to have a choice of part, hybrid, or component. I don't know which one they call it, all three. So you're going to have to select something. In our class, I'm going to have to, when that rolls out, I'm going to have to say, we're going to stay just on part. We're not going to do we're not doing components and assemblies. We're just doing individual parts. So as far as what are you going to see first, what selections? So the intent-driven design experience is really for the designers. There's some other stuff here. Preview, all this stuff. User coordinate system. Ooh. Electronics we don't use. General design we don't use. Manufacturer. Bar pull visibility. Oh, that's pretty good. Blend. Faster processing. Ooh. Oh, okay. So these would be in the next rollout anyway, I'm pretty sure. Machine angles for tool orientation, milling automatic. Multi-axis clearing strategy. Oh, I just saw that one came out because we have a 5-axis machine. Polar machining, restrict the 4-axis, setup sheet config, and a lot of stuff. You can see a lot of stuff there that you can almost kind of guess where they're going next. So, all right, hit cancel. That's some settings on setup. So in our school, because we're a machine shop school, we have them load tools into their cloud library. Cloud right there, see? And we're doing the Fusion Mill tools. That's the Immerse to Learn class. We probably should rename that ITL Fusion Mill. But that would be the tools for that class. And if they didn't have that, they would be probably in the Fusion library all the time. They'd be a little lost. And hub libraries are replacing cloud. Learn mount. Whoa, I'll have to read that. All right. How do I break hub tool libraries in Fusion? All right, I'll have to look at that later. All right, back to Fusion. Also, we have them use the same post processor, which would be not machine, but under the G1 there. I use it up here. And I want them to store it in the cloud, put it right up here, so they're using the same machine that we have in the class. And we're all using the same one. Now, back to posting. If I have them do G1, let's click up here, do G1. I look at it in there. This is how they're going to do it. I look open NC file and editor, but in the beginning, I don't want them to do create NC programs. I kind of want to show them how that works. Hit post. Yes. Post the code. Everything looks good. Oh, looks like a visual code update, so I can kill that. All right. All right, looks good. Then I'll put it on a USB. Now up here it says NC program. So these are all stacking up and how this works. Because if they went into here and they clicked create NC program, it's going to start creating more of these. And it becomes... They don't really know what it's for yet, so I just don't do that. And we don't use the hub. We're not posting to the hub. And we put output folder in the school as desktop, so they can go desktop or wherever their USB is going to be. Later on, when we get them, teach them how to use NC programs, or we don't go to here all the time. We go to NC program, click on this, and then you're back in the same window formation. Only you got a couple more stuff you can do. You can select operations. That's one. You can rename everything, the output folder. And hit cancel. And also up here, you can do a little bit better setup sheets. In this one, setup sheets. You can post-process from here. You can simulate from here. So you can manage stuff. But I prefer to start them up in this area where you can see it a lot better. Up here, you got to really describe how all this works. So if you teach them up here and then move them eventually over there. But I would have them delete all these and start over. So these are really not used for anything, I could tell by the student, because he's posting everything from his G1 tab. And that's about it, as far as I can tell. What else? The lab, I talked lab installs. I talked the teams. Yeah, the team concept of being able to look at their stuff and also teach with it and help it. You got to be helping students. You want to, like I have two projects too, so I can go fix anything in here or demonstrate. And if I accidentally save it, it's mine, not his. So if I even went in later, I could delete that one. I'm not ruining what he's got, but he can tell there's a difference. So he can put his up at the same time and look at them side by side. Like, what am I missing? He told me to do something over here. Oh, I see it there. Of course, they might learn how to copy and paste, but I'm not worried about that too much. You can kind of tell where they're at this point. All right, project 2. They're all named up here, so that's good. Home view brings us back. Oh, that's new. That's good. I never got in tune with this page. I guess looks good. I think if this is a recent page, is this got recent? No, last opened. Yeah, I guess it is recent. Yeah, it's visual, so I like it. All right. All right, so now we got, I'm going to not save. And then the teacher from last year, this is his page, and he had to give me permission. And there was a couple of hiccups because he wasn't seeing my file. We had to dig in there and find out how come he couldn't see my email address. So this is the same thing. He's managing that side. And the other ones are from my previous school experience. And this is my personal account, so I do have it linked. I consider him my adjunct professor. So I'm the admin and he's a manager level. So, But he has education permission, both accounts. So these are all educators. So if I go back to STC Carlsbad, the bulk of the students are working out of. So I want to start learning how to manage the no permissions until they get the folder level. I'm going to play with that tomorrow. But in this class, I also had one called Pokey, and this is I have a dog named Pokey. He has his own Autodesk account, so I can log in with his Autodesk account and see it from the student's point of view. I can test a lot of things out by making a student account, So if I go into here, I can also see his permissions and what, like right here, it says owner, me. So he downloaded this file. It says bottom cover Mastercam. I think because we also have a Mastercam class we're starting. So we were kind of like, I'm not even sure where this came from. So I'll probably uploaded this by accident here. All right. Migrate tool library. So I'll have to read that later. Close that one. Close. So the only problem with this, it keeps these things open. That was a tool list for the class. And that's everybody. How to update Fusion. We talked about that and the other areas. Okay. That's it for me. Ed the CNC Dude signing off. Oh, Ed the part-time CNC Dude signing off.